So in the second part of this video, I'm going to be taking this whole machine apart and getting rid of all the stuff. The goal in this part is to take out everything that isn't structural or outside. So I'm going to keep all the main beams and stuff, but I'm not going to keep any of the inside pumps. So this is going to be a continuation of my plan turning this into a computer case. There's going to be a whole list of videos that are going to be about this, and this is the second one in this theme. First thing I took out is this is the water cage. I'm going to be modifying this into a window for both sides, cutting it up. These sides actually, alright, first thing that comes off is this top piece. This top piece has this piece coming that's going to get all cut up. This thing's going to be cut up and modified. These are going to be glued down and this whole inside's probably going to get cut off. So here's the top piece, comes off relatively easy. Once we take off the top piece, we noticed there's a couple main parts. There's the water area, there is the giant grinder which goes and squishes it all together, and then there's the whole pump and heater system. So if I take off these side panels, which just take off pretty easily by pulling back and going off, we see pretty clearly on this side right here, we have a couple of parts. We have, this is the main grinder. So this, if you're actually going to put main big beans in here, it would grind up and pump it out right here into this machine, which would compress it into coffee stuff. This is a valve, so it determines if the water can actually flow in here. This is a this is a pump that pumps it in here into this heater, which heats it up to go into this machine. Don't know that much about how exactly this works, but I'm going to just take this whole thing apart now. I'm taking out 4 screws that takes off this back panel right here. This back panel just covers up some stuff and pops out relatively quickly. It's just 4 screws on the back. This machine, when they built it, is all built on Torx screws, which I just happen to have a perfect size bit here, which is really nice. So these 4 screws are out. So this piece just comes off. It's a basic piece. I'm going to be keeping this for the back and putting a hole for a 120 mil fan or whatever I feel so fit. This is the next thing I'm going to be taking out. This is the bean grinder. The only annoying thing about taking apart these bean grinders is that they're filled with beans. This thing was in use for about a year or 2 before it conked out and stopped working. Get in now, stupid screwdriver. Where are you? This might get a little tricky. One trick I've noticed, if you have screws that are too far in for the thing, is to take off your bit with a screwdriver like this, and then don't put it all the way in. Makes it a lot easier to take out long screws. There you go. This thing is out. You can see the bean grinders right in front of me. Here's the next thing. This bean grinder is actually mounted on rubber mounts, so it moves a little bit, so it would cut down on noise. I think this guy actually uses slightly smaller screws. They don't use that many different types of screws, which is nice. I hate it when they use like 100 different screw types. Really hard to take apart and put together. So this whole bean mechanism is held together by 3 smaller Torx screws. I don't know what the names for all of these screw bits are. So after you take out these 3 screws, this whole thing just lifts up, and it's plugged in with 2 of these crimp-on style connections here that go into a motor. This is actually a 120 volt DC motor, which is kind of strange, but they change it in circuitry that we'll look at a little bit later. And this just grinds up beans. It actually works on like low voltage. I've gotten it to work pretty decently on 12 volts. Well, I think it works on actually 6. It does not need very much to go. Next thing I'm going to take out is this I don't know. Here, this thingy just pops right out. This is the, a little bit of water in here from last time it was used. This is a valve, so it keeps the water from coming in and out. This guy still works perfectly. It's just a little wet. I'm going to chuck him in here. Here's the pump. This is the actual problem in here. This hose should come off. Now, let's pop off, I don't know how to take this apart, right? I'm popping off all the wires because I don't need any of these guts. I'm going to try to take off this water heater next. This thing is held in here by a few screws. Let's see, I'm gonna try to take off this. I've opened up these sides and looked inside, but I've actually never tried to take off all of this because I tried to keep it moderately intact so I could do a video like this. So, okay, here I go. Here is a hot water. This is I'm guessing it's probably a water heater or something. These look like relatively high power cables. You can see that's definitely hot water cables. They do not bend well like the big cold water ones. Yeah, this one comes from this mechanism here, which I don't know exactly what it's doing, but I want to say it's related to milk. Here you go, that thing just popped right off there. And here it goes. Here's the machine. I don't know how exactly all of this works. I'm guessing this thingy right here is the water heater. So that would mean this is actually a temperature sensor screwed on here. Come off. I don't know how that works. So this would be a temperature sensor to tell it when the little computer on here when it's running a little too hot. Yeah. So the next thing I'm gonna probably do, lift it over. The pump is actually held in the bottom of this piece of rubber to make it quiet, but it probably moves back and forth. So this piece should actually, sorry you guys can't see anything. I gotta yank off this tube. There you go. Yanked off the tube. This little rubber piece comes off. I don't know because this is a little converter from the cold water to the hot water style pipes. Okay guys, so you might have missed something because my camera ran out of battery and I actually didn't notice. I was gonna, in the footage, I was gonna get this thingy and I was cutting away. You didn't miss very much, so it's fine. I finally actually got this whole piece cut off. I'm guessing this is either a valve or, it's not a pump. Or a heater. I really don't know what any of this stuff does. Okay, what else is there to get out next? Okay, there's a, I guess the next thing I'm going to be working on is this right here. Yeah, I'm going to take out this screw. Same thing. I have no idea what this piece in here is either. This piece pops right on out. All this hosing, I'm just going to be cutting all this out. This is pretty messy in here. There's actually a decent amount of water. It's been so long since I've ever plugged this thingy up, so I don't know why there's so much. Wow, got some on me. That's awesome. Here's a weird connection style. You can see there's a total mess of wires. This thing is actually held in by clips. I personally hate clips. I'm going to be changing this screwdriver to a flathead, as I like to call it. I don't know what its real name really is. My goal is just to find a way to get this thingy out. There's probably another screw in there I can't see. So, there's not much to see on the other side. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, I'm going to switch it back to this bit right here. And I've taken off this front panel before, because I don't remember what I was doing. Yeah, I was trying to see what type of LCD it was using. So I've already taken off this front panel once before. So I pretty much, I'd say I know how to do it. It's a couple of screws in the back here that you fortunately just can't easily see. Oh, that screw just got lost in there. Oh, I hate it when they fall. I'll probably find it later. Okay, this piece I have yet to take out. And it's going to be a pain to work with in building this, because the whole thing kind of lifts up and out. Yeah, here's the metal thing. I'm probably not going to be needing that, but oh, here it is. I think I actually lost the screw somewhere when I put it in there. How does this thing come out? Oh, this has to be lifted. I did not see that coming. Here's the whole inside bean holders. So, or I think that's like excess waste holders. These two, alright. This thing's heavy. 2 screws in here, which use the same technique that I typically do of drop the bit in there, rotate until it locks, and then put the actual driver on it. Hold the actual whole front panel piece on, and I'm going to be doing a lot more modding on that later. But now I'm just taking out. I'm probably actually going to keep all this front electronics in there for a while, because I'm going to try to mod the front stuff as least as I can so it looks as much coffee maker as it can look. This piece just lifts up awkwardly. Oh, there's actually two little clips here. And it's lifted up. A lot of screws falling all over. It's fun. And this connector, I'm just going to cut it. I can solder these longer if I ever need it to be longer. This whole thing's held in by 4 screws. And this front this front plastic thing here, it's actually this thingy comes in here and shows that I could actually reprint a new one if I really wanted. This is the whole front mechanism. There's this machine that comes in and out. This thing that I've already taken out, and all of these cables. I'm going to be doing a little more work on this guy later to make him have the power switch I need, but he's done. I'm also probably going to take this piece and actually glue this on here so it just stays here all the time. That's going to be done later. Okay, now looks a lot less coffee machine-like. Still smells like coffee, you know. Alright, so you can see there's actually one big middle structure that I'm somehow going to have to get out without ruining the whole structure inside. That's going to be fun. Let's take a quick look at this side. This side has all the electronics in it. Has all these cables that are conveniently held in a way that I can't get out easily. That's great. Yeah. These are all the high power. This is the high power control board. It's what turns on and off all the motors and pumps and stuff. You can see there's a pretty big heat sink. This is probably controlling the main motor in there. And you can see the power comes in here. There's a fuse in here, which is good. Here's a sensor that goes to this water thing. So the water tank actually has a little magnet that moves up and down, and it tells it how full or empty it is. And this guy I've actually not taken out successfully before. I know there's one screw right here that comes out. And then this guy helps. I don't know if there's any other screws. I don't think there's any on the bottom. Wiggles. Oh, there's another piece of plastic in here, which I actually... Oh, so there's a couple of clips in here. Does this thing just bend down and out? Yeah. That's apparently how it works. Yet I haven't mastered this technique yet. I'm going to take off all these wires first. These probably run to the main power cord. Yeah. It'd be great if they just held this in with only screws, but no. They have to use clips. I hate clips. Okay, here it comes. Here's the main board. It's a standard board. It's all soldered in now. I don't know what chip that is. It's probably a transistor or a small IC. Couple of things. It's a pretty well built board. Nothing really to complain about. It's the main high power board. Okay, so this area's been gutted. This piece of plastic is held in by one screw in here. Like all of this stuff. Which comes out relatively easily with a standard screwdriver. Here it comes. Now there's a few more things. There's the main power cord comes in here, so I just have yet another AC power cord if I ever need to do any AC stuff. And that guy comes out. And then there's the main transformer that probably does lower voltage. Yeah, it probably comes off of that board, which gets controlled. I'm not going to be looking at all the circuits today. Oh, this is kind of a cool little board, so it's a clamp. I will be keeping that. That's kind of cool, actually. And this is just a lot of unscrewing. This is actually the thingy that holds the power connector in place, so you can't yank out the cord, which is something that I would say is fairly nice of them to put in, because I've seen some problems with that before. Okay. Oh, that cable got kind of squished in there. So, you probably can't see it that well. You see this, buddy? The cord is here. I'm gonna just cut it here because it's a lot easier than doing anything else. Not plugged in right now, of course. Here's the little connector. This is actually a cool brick. I'm gonna be keeping that guy around and might be using it. The cord is out. Okay, next thing. Transformer is held in by a few more screws, like everything seems to be held in by right now. And conveniently enough, this seems to be one piece of plastic. Ooh, that might be two pieces. It seems to be one piece, which will require a bit of cutting to get to what I want it to be, because right now it's great for coffee machines, but it isn't what I'd consider to be great for computers. That'll require... Oh, that's conveniently held in by clips on the bottom. Are those metal clips? No. What are they? Sorry that you guys can't see this at all. Okay, let's remove this back wiring. This piece just yanks out here. All these cables. I don't really care about all of this inner stuff, so I'm a little harsh to it, I'd say. Okay, here's the internal transformer. It looks like probably could do 20-30 watts. What is it rated for? 120 volt, 50-60 hertz, 0.25 amps with something, and it's 15 volts, 1.1 amp. Yeah, that's relatively on par. So it is just a little transformer that probably does all the low voltage electronics and everything. What else is going to be fun? Here's the whole main thing, and that guy's going to be coming out probably about last, because it's well in there. Okay, so I'm going to be taking off the water receptacle right here that connects to the tank. One quick little screw, and this thing seems to just lift off. Yep, there it is. And there's here's the little thingy that this guy just plugs into. Might be a fun project I could make out of that, but nothing right now. Here's the whole middle piece, and I'm probably going to actually be taking out that now. So there's a screw right here. These are all just standard plastic screws. I'll have a huge pile of these when I'm done. No, this is actually a metal screw. Oh, there's actually a piece of metal. I did not see that coming. I wonder what this is holding in. This probably is not holding in any structure. Only some. Oh, these are probably rails, because this thing actually moves up and down. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay, two screws here, but this guy's a plastic guy. That guy was a metal one. Yeah, that's odd. Okay, there's a couple of screws in the middle. Okay, so the camera I'm using has a slight problem. I was talking about taking out this motor by pulling out these two screws. I think I was also trying to take out this mechanism, which I realized I'm probably going to have to do that about last, just because it's in the very middle of everything. I'm trying to access a screw right now that holds in this motor that moves the main Expresso thingy. I don't know any Expresso terms at all. Here it comes. Come to me, little screw. You can do it. Show me what you got. Yeah. Conveniently enough, there's a metal pipe right here. I love these metal pipes. So I'm probably going to actually have to take off this big plastic thingy, which I have no idea how it comes out. If it's what I think it is, it's probably solid clip. And right now, I'm not really caring about what these clips. So I'm actually just going to be cutting all these clips so I know they... Okay, because here's the thing with clips. They get really annoying. Because like you take off half of them and the other half that you just took off now found their way back into their spot, which I really hate when it happens, and it happens all the time. It seems like with this modern electronics, where they think it's ugly to throw a screw somewhere hidden and just put clips on it. Oh, how much I hate clips. I've had to take apart, and clips make it. So I used to have this laptop that was a pain to take apart. There was like 20 clips you had to undo. So yeah, I didn't like all those clips. Wow, that thing is beat up. Let's see if we can just yank it. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, that was just held in by those two clips. This guy looks, from everything I've seen, just like a heater. Yeah, that's probably what it is. I don't know how all these wiring works. I might try plugging it in once, seeing if it does anything exciting. Okay, the motor. There's the motor that does it. Yeah, just for fun, I'll take it out of its case. Now let's see if I can get these cutters in there. And just cutting the things that the clips clip onto makes it a lot easier. Now, there's yet another one. 5 clips to hold in the motor. Fun, fun. Never know. Don't know why they're enclosing this motor, because they didn't enclose all the other motors. Whoa. Oh, there's a small screw right there. That's my big bit. There's the smaller Torx bit I have. Where is it? It's in this pile. Oh, yeah, it was in this thingy the whole time. It's a smaller one. Yeah, good, it fits. So, this guy's coming off pretty easily. There you go, this guy should be. Yeah, I'm guessing there's just a worm gear. Oh my gosh, more clips. All this effort just to get into one motor. I'm trying to do this on like speed. I mean, like, imagine how long this would take if my goal is to actually keep it in good condition. Now it's like take for a year. No, I stabbed the table. That's awesome. There you go. Oh, and just for fun, yellow non-existent clips. Didn't even know they aren't really clips when they're in pieces. Somehow, I was still kind of holding on, which sucks. Come apart. What's holding you? There it goes. So, it's a motor. Does it say anything on it? No, it doesn't. I'm guessing it's probably a 120 DC, because that's what the other guy was. Huh. So it's just a standard worm gear on here. Very nice and very nice and oiled and stuff. Nice thick wires running to it. That's the motor that does this machine here good. So this is the next thing, and probably the last thing that's going to actually have to come out. There's going to be a few more pieces that might be structural that I'm going to have to take out and play with, but that's going to be later. I'm just going to have to try to get these pieces. So these are a few more screws that hold on to this big gear mechanism. Here. Get out for me, screws. Oh, is this like held on somehow? I don't know how to. Maybe I could try down on this. Yeah. I really have no idea how to take this whole center thingy out. Okay, I'll be looking at that. I have no idea. No, I'm probably gonna have to make it a little longer, because this just happens to be like an inch, like less than an inch, probably like 1/8 of an inch short, and there it comes. That was one screw. Okay, I'll get my bit, chuck it back in here. So I probably took off a lot more screws than I needed to getting in here. And here's the whole center thingy that does it. It looks like the beans go in here. This mechanism somehow pushes them in here. They get squished, coffee comes out. That's like, look. Oh, so see, it comes in. These are probably doing the squishing process right now. Hey, I'm a motor. It's probably doing the squishing that makes the coffee beans. And yeah. I'm still turning it. It's getting more squishy. Those more are yummy. I don't know why. You don't want espresso. Espresso coming out. It's probably almost all the way in. As in, I'm going to spin it the other way. coming out. Oh, I'm going to turn this big gear by itself. That's cool. You see, this is... And you can see he's out of there. He compressed the coffee into the non-existent mush. And once he's almost out, this thingy comes back out. He comes out. There's a little cover on him. Comes up. And this thing can probably go down easily. So here's my teardown and just fun yanking out everything. Here's the main case that I'm going to be doing a little more work on in a later video of how I'm going to take this and basically just turn it into an external frame in part 3. Stay tuned.